Okay, in this chapter we're going to send an email just using our own HTML source, and to get started we need to go up to the third option on the menu, which is Create and Send Mail. Okay, now from this menu we've got 4 options to choose from, and we're going to go with the first one, which is Create using HTML code. Now in step 1 we're asked to add our email to a campaign. There's a previous chapter explains campaigns, so if you're not sure what they mean then please do refer to that. As a basic recap, a campaign is a great way of grouping your emails into one little set archive. So if you've sent tens or hundreds of emails and you haven't put them into campaigns, it's going to be a lot more difficult to find them. Whilst if you group them into nice little tidy campaigns, it makes analysing and checking your data against each other a lot easier. So for the purpose of this demonstration we're going to add our email to a little campaign we've called YouTube Tutorial, so that we know they're all grouped in a nice little tidy place. And we're going to click Save and Continue. Now the next step is basically to give our email a subject line and the email content. So the subject, we're going to call it Hello from MediaMailer. And then within the email content, this is where we need to actually paste our HTML code. So obviously you either need to have this ready or be prepared to write it from scratch from here. Obviously doing that's going to take a long time, so we'd recommend that you write your HTML code before you actually decide to send the emails out. Now what we've done is we've already got some HTML code prepared. So what we're going to do here is we're going to select all of that text, then we're going to then copy it, and then we're going to paste it within that window. Okay, so as you can see it's pretty much raw HTML. There's not a lot you can see there visually. This really highlights the fact that this particular option is much more suited to HTML editors, people who are experienced at developing web pages. Now one other thing also to note is your images in your HTML code. You need to make sure that any image references are using what's called absolute links. Now anyone that's developed a web page or a website will know what this is, so if you're unsure what using absolute links are, you may be best suited to using the template system to send an email. Right, now before we continue, like every other type of email that you send in Mailer, we need to generate plain text content to make sure that plain text editors can view and understand your email if they can't read or understand what's generated using HTML. I'm just cleaning up some of the tabs here because sometimes you do find that creating the HTML source into plain text, it does copy over a lot of the spaces that are generated. It'll take a few minutes to do, but it doesn't take too long, but we'll just do a little quick tidy up here before we move on. Okay, that looks good to me. So what we'll do now is we'll click Save and Continue. Now this is the penultimate step, and this is the preview stage. Now again we've got the option here if we like to send a copy of our email to ourselves, so up to 2 email addresses. Now considering we've pasted in HTML code rather than used a template, we don't really know what this email looks like, so it's highly recommended that you do actually use this particular option at this stage, because you don't want any nasty surprises. Send your email out and find that some images didn't display correctly or some text didn't render correctly. So this is a good way of just double checking that before you go and press that send button that it all looks good. But we'll skip to the next stage and we'll press Save and Continue. And so this is the final step, and this is where we have to choose the list we want to send to. Now again, if you haven't set up a list or you don't understand how to create lists or what lists are, then please refer to another video tutorial that we've created on lists. They're very easy to set up and easy to understand, and you'll need to create lists before you can actually send an email. We've created one and we've called it Demo List, and we're going to add that to our selected list group, and then we're ready to press Send, which we're going to do now. Okay, so that's off and away, and as you can see the number is now going to count down, and within a couple of seconds you'll see it's finished, and there you go, it's done. So that email has now been finished and we're ready to review the reports.